Machabukini Kwai. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kay, and welcome back to Breaker Mode Experiences of a Black PCV. Oh my goodness, I hope everyone has had such a beautiful work week and is ready for the weekend, the turn up and the preparations for Thanksgiving next week. I can't believe it. It's going to be my second Thanksgiving in Zambia, and me missing my family is at its all-time high. Um, so that's actually what I want to talk to you about, like how, things that volunteers go through, especially around the holidays, and how we have moments of being okay with not being okay. And I know this hits everyone in any point of their life, regardless if they're Peace Corps volunteers or they work back in the States or they're doctors or they're lawyers or they're teachers, whatever it is, we have moments in our lives that we go through this. And I feel like for me personally as a volunteer, I have not talked about this, how I have moments of not being okay, because I don't want to give the sense that I'm not happy, and I'm not happy with the decision I made to become a Peace Corps volunteer, because I am. I gave everything in me uh, into being here, but I miss my family, and that I can't change that. Yesterday, one of my friends, a couple of my friends, we were having a conversation, and one of my friends said something that really resonated with me. She said, when you have a bad day as a Peace Corps volunteer, like, the feeling is unbearable because we give up our entire livelihood back in the States in order to be here. And it's not like if you have a bad day back in the States, it's like, oh man, well, that day sucks, and you get to go home and you get to go to happy hour, chill with your friends, or just crash on the couch and really just get the debrief. But as Peace Corps volunteers, we take that with us because our work is our home, is our community, is how we integrate it is all of our projects. Like, being a Peace Corps volunteer is who you are the moment you get into your country of service. Like, it's who you are. You live, eat, and breathe it. And so we rarely have moments where we can really just digress on what's going on, and that is mentally exhausting. It really is. And so like, we have like committees like PSD and Peer Support Diversity Network, where you're able to talk to other Peace Corps volunteers about stressors or microaggressions or anything that is going on throughout your service that is, I guess, kind of challenging you to be who you are on a normal basis. And I'm think lately I just been kind of like in this funk where I feel like I'm not doing enough in my service. Like, in your service, like, Peace Corps really pushes for you to integrate into your community so you can build these relationships. So essentially, like, you can have these projects that are going to make a difference throughout your community. Some volunteers have been building libraries, have been writing grants to rehabilitate their school blocks. Some have been building fish ponds. Others have been really successful in co-teaching or having clubs such as Glow Club, Girls Leading Our World, um, or Camp Bro, or doing things like Camp Tree, like, which helps with like agriculture and things like that. And there are volunteers who have been really successful at this because they have a community that really supports them. And there are other volunteers who are in communities that are having a challenge with working together, and essentially that affects their point of service. And I love my community, I really do. However, I do find it that there's a bit of a challenge when it comes to teamwork. And as a volunteer, you're going to feel the pressure, like, well, saying, well, maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not advocating enough. But you can advocate all day long and try to push the efforts in all day long. But you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And so that is one of the things that also affects Peace Corps volunteers, is that they feel like they're not doing enough in their community. However, in order to have a, I guess, in Peace Corps terms, a successful service, you need to have strong counterparts. You need to have a working community who is willing to do so. If not, then you're going to feel those pressures of feeling like you're not doing enough. And lately I've been feeling that way. And this is not a video to put down my community or to put down any other community. It's just like, this is the real. This is the real of what happens throughout certain projects. Especially, you'll see that with first generation volunteers. I'm first generation. So first generation means that I am the first volunteer in my community that ever. Not only am I the first volunteer in my community, I'm the first Black volunteer that, or just first Black American that a lot of my community members have seen or met and things like that. And so so integration is a huge step. You integrate throughout your entire service. You have pressure throughout like certain workshops in Peace Corps where you need to find a counterpart, especially after community entry. However, finding a counterpart within that small spectrum of time is really hit or miss, because that counterpart can either really be for the project and really want to hit the ground running, or that counterpart can really be motivated right then and there, but when it comes back, when you come back to the community, the different things could happen. Like, for instance, like, I have a great counterpart, but my school is grossly understaffed on the primary side, and so that is a stressor in terms of like how we're going to get things going for this particular club. Or if there's a club that crosses over to the secondary section, my school, primary and secondary, aren't always on one accord. And so that affects how like clubs and projects goes. And so these different stressors I have been going through, on top of missing my family and just different things, and my plate is a little bit overloaded, and I just don't have some days I don't have the energy of pushing forward. However, I thank God for my friends and family, that I have here, the friends and family that I have back at home, because they have really been helping me push forward and things like that. And like I said, this is not a video about any sort of negativity or being or putting down my country of service, because my service does not reflect other people's service. Okay, we're all going to have different services, but it's just something that I feel like I need to vent about, and I need to get out, and I need to let other people know that these are things that Peace Corps volunteers go through. Like, I don't need any uplifting. I don't need any appraisals. I don't need anyone to come check in on me or things like this, because this is just things that we go through. And this is just me being real. I've been very skeptical about making a video like this, just for this simple fact that I don't want to be perceived as being jaded. That is a word that is used throughout Peace Corps as, oh, you're a jaded volunteer, meaning that you have a very negative outlook on life or on your country of service or your project and things like that. And I really try to run from that word, because I don't want to shed any negative light on my country of service or my project or my community. But not every day is a happy day, okay? Thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful weekend. And just, comment below, or personal message me, or DM me. Yeah, chapa.